Good morning, everyone. So it looks like market's getting ready to make new all-time highs. Um, Backed off a little bit from here, this 4,800 level, 480 on the S&P has been tough. Every time it gets there, it backs off, but it's had a resting period now for, oh, I guess about a month, right? About a month going sideways here. I remember earlier in the week, I was questioning where will this week end? Will it be a bearish 180, or now we got a bottoming tail bar? And so now, just looking at the cursor, it's gapping above those highs slightly, and it really doesn't have a void. I wouldn't call it an end of day base. It was moving up yesterday. Let's see here. It was moving up. It got rolling there a little after 130. And then hang on to the gain a little higher. See, as I scroll it, now it's coming off of there. It's backing away from an attempt to push through $480. See how much it comes in the next 25 minutes. But, we've got this trading range that we've been talking about, a higher low. And then we'll see if buyers, want to continue to step up here. It is an options expiration. Be aware that there are some numbers coming out here at 10 o'clock. Consumer sentiment, home sales, inflation expectations. So 10 o'clock could ignite or deflate this market. So keep that in mind. And see these SPX levels. They're moving around a little bit, not too much. Things are coming in a little bit. So it's up here. Buyers are going to continue to step up. 47.50. I wouldn't call it a no-brainer, but look, if it goes back down, if it's gapping up here, it's not something gone wrong. If it comes back down there, might be best to wait until after 10 o'clock. 48, 45 is pretty far away. But again, I think it's best to wait till after 10 o'clock and just see what kind of gyrations happen. Rather than doing something before then and risking some kind of wild move. Let's go with the continuous one. All right. So downs turned out in retrospect, 2020 hindsight, to be a downside shakeout. The move yesterday, wide range bar, it's continuing higher. I believe that's for the futures anyway. New all-time highs. And had that 180, and now it's following through. We'll see how far it gets today. Some hesitancy, as you can see here, as we get a little closer to the open, but so far just chopping back and forth, back and forth. Look, it should go higher. With a pattern like this, it's supposed to go higher. Yeah. And anything that it does from here, as long as it stays above yesterday's low, and ideally, the same routine in the upper half of this wide range bar, it looks higher. Just want to see the gap on the Qs. And so, yesterday had the gap up, didn't fill the gap. So now we've got another unfilled gap. I'll put that there. Okay, this. Mark it off for future reference. And gap on above here. All right. And yeah, got nothing to stop it from going higher, other than people deciding to sell. And I think, well, this, has been the underperformer, maybe for today, up until 10 o'clock. Um, the Qs may outperform the Microsoft and Google, and we're back to the same old thing. Thanks stocks, driving the market higher. Apple got an upgrade. On the way down, it was like, oh, they can't sell the watches and all that story. But if this market is for real, these small caps should start to outperform. I prefer a pattern like this that is pull back. I wish it had a third day down here, but if this market holds together into next week, I think this Russell can play some. It should be able to play some catch up, even though it's got this resistance here. The weekly is in an uptrend. It's pulled back far enough to where it can make a turn. And I think, just for reward to risk, I think this could be a better bet than going with the spiders and Qs. Take a look at the transports, but they don't look the same as the cash flow. But again, pull back, lower high, lower low, slightly lower low, retesting this. Some of these transportation stocks might be ready to outperform. Some of the airlines, like LUV yesterday, that was looking like ready to take off weekly, daily, the wide range bar there. Each. It's cruise line pulling back to the converging moving averages weekly. Buy setup. Some of these may prove to give better returns. Things that have corrected a bit if this market is going to go higher. Better returns than buying spiders or Qs. So, and there's lots of things that are pulled back that aren't severely damaged, such as something like this and that LUV. And then JB Hunt was up after hours. See, well, it's gapping up huge now. So, but that came on yesterday. Well, that was a good sign. And it reported earnings after the close. All right. Bitcoin pulling back. Looks like it's going to continue to pull back. The news is out with their ETFs, help drive it up. So we'll see how far that goes down. Crude oil's up a little bit, no big deal. It's been whipping back and forth. Just the battle continues to go on, but continues to hold here. Something's got to give. I think by next week, how long can this thing go sideways? And dollar, and we'll take a look at interest rates. Not doing anything. I'm sitting on the 200. Well, I don't want to know whether that breaks below there or above. Interest rates up a little bit. And this is what could ruin the Bulls party. You want to know whether this continues to push up. I think if this thing pushes through at 4.2, I don't know how the market's going to ignore that. So set your alert. That's checking that horizontal line. Yes, it has an alarm on it. So we'll see. I'm going to bring that up here. Yesterday's low. I don't know if that continues to push up or not. And so we'll keep an eye on this and see whether things are going to move one way or the other here. And the 5-year had made this W bottom. It's at resistance. And so to a certain degree, the markets went higher, and that 10-year did back off a little bit late in the day. Not much, but for the most part, the markets went up and could care less about where interest rates were yesterday. So that was an interesting change, but it doesn't mean that we got to forget about these interest rates. And if this continues to go up, and the market does go up, we want to know, because if something is changing here, something going on under the hood, we want to monitor this because it hasn't been the case for a couple of years. You can't see the symbols. They're right up here, Stephen, or up here. I mean, if everyone can't see them, I mean, there's multiple charts here. I can always make them bigger. Not a big deal for me. That's it for me. Quickie here, Dan. Markets are up a little bit. We shall see if they hold on. Keep an eye on those intermarket relationships. Gap up. The tick probably starts off at a high point, and we shall take it from there. Let's take a look at these NASDAQ futures. Up above the highs. So there's nothing to say this isn't going to continue. I'll just, as I mentioned, I don't like to look for these things that are can play some catch up. This is coming in a lot. Just look at the Dow, which was rolling over. It's up a little bit. It's coming in a little bit. Not a big deal, but this chart will be interesting to see if this can get through that congestion there. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Every day in the green room, we look at the index ETFs into the close to have a bias for the following day. And it was a great example of just looking at the hourly charts of the four horsemen relative to, the retracement, clearing resistance, etc. And this one was clearly the best of the four for continuation. But yeah, I'd be looking, if we were in it yesterday, I'd be looking to sell some in the strength. I sent out an alert pre-market. It looks great. Looks great. That's an igniting gap, and semis are on fire. But $10 gap up Friday into resistance. I said let's ring the register. Let's look at earnings. Yeah, the Dow is being held up pre-market here. Primarily travelers. Now, see, this thing's been on a tear. Look at this continuation pattern right here, that little bottom tail. That was a beautiful entry. Bullish gap, but it's up a lot. Again, Friday, it's going to be a climb-o weekly. So I'm actually looking at this 30-minute low to sell a 0 DTE call spread. IBM and the Dow. This was also a continuation pattern on our watch list, but gap's messing it up. I'm not chasing that. And then Cream also was on our continuation list yesterday. That's number 3 gapper. Those are the everything else under $1. Back to earnings here. STT 78. Bullish gap, but it's to resistance and it's up a lot, so nothing to do with it. And John on YouTube asking about, is NVIDIA getting extended? Without a doubt. I mean, unquestionable. How do you measure that? Number of up bars up, distance from the 20. But John, the weekly was a weekly breakout. So it depends what time frame you're talking about. The weekly is not extended. The daily is. You see the difference right here? We were talking about giving that as a core long right there. Um, man, as a weekly breakout. Everyone loves NVIDIA. Kramer actually made an interesting comment this morning. You know how people get their brains on some theme, the internet days, all you got to do is say, oh, I'm opening a website. Uh, now say, oh, I'm researching AI, whether you're a plant store or a gas station, just mention AI. And so Kramer took it a step further today now by saying, oh, all you have to do is say you're collaborate, whatever the word, not collaborating, but you're using NVIDIA chips and, NVIDIA this and that's giving you a tailwind for your stock now. Yeah, Roberto, it's just, with the market up, I always, that's my bias, right? Broader markets. And with a big old gap, I'm not rushing into longs, particularly ones that are gapping up. But yeah, it's still bullish. Keep it on your list. But nothing to do right now. I posted Tango Whiskey. See, now this one's rested. I can't tell where the gap is, but now this one I love. And Workday also I posted. See how this one's a tad better than Cream? It's a cleaner little, downside shakeout, breakout. So we did a put spread on this yesterday, and looks like a directional too. ESTC. It's bullish, it's sloppy, needs to chop around sideways. SMG, David. I remember trading SMG when it got killed. I think over here we were selling puts on it. That's the Miracle Grow guy. I don't see any pattern right now, David. So not sure what you're looking at and what time frame. Risto on YouTube. Welcome, Risto. I don't recognize your name. Asking about an inverse head and shoulder on Alpha Bravo. No, because head and shoulders we want tighter, and these shoulders are way too high for an inverse head and shoulders. So don't worry about the title, but just watch it for bullish price action after greater than 100% retracement. Okay, so I'm not saying it's not bullish. I'm just saying that's not an inverse head and shoulder really the way we define it. All right, back to earnings. Slob, mess. Oh, I actually posted USO over yesterday's high. Let's short. And it looks like it's over yesterday's high now. Let's short the 65 puts for next month. This is a beautiful bottoming pattern. Look how the 20 is flat. The 50 is starting to curl, flat 200. This is a bullish retest on the weekly and buy setup on a monthly. So I had my eye on this for a directional also, but it's easier just to start off with a put spread. I mean, we actually talked about nibbling on this gap up day, and we waited, and you see that it's one more retest. So it's better now than here. It's better. So there's that. Well, that's correct, Alex. But two things. just calling a short-term bottom on a big old bottoming pattern, I don't get wigged out at all the intraday jiggles. And number two, we have an ETF litter. And even though I might not take it personally, if it's a quality setup on multiple time frames, we give it to our subscribers. RF is a big old mess, no interest. I'm just gonna delete you. High band of the bank, no pattern. Fit B, another regional bank, topping pattern under yesterday's low. Could start off with a day trade short. Just swapping around. Alley, another regional bank, gapping up. See, all these cracked, and they're, whether you get a small bounce or not, I don't know, but not great swing patterns for sure. Yeah, but for earnings yesterday, this would have been a fantastic, not only long, but what's good. Look at the morning, 15-minute, right in the afternoon breakout. That would have been a directional long and put spread, like I said, but now it's gapping way the heck up here. I'd be selling it if I were in it. So I've got no interest in that. Mesa, wow, look at the volume yesterday. That's strange. The stock did nothing and had all that volume. Very strange. But it looks like it was smart money. Because look at the gap, it's a monster percent gap. Look at that, way the heck up here. They got some funding or something or other. Talking about airlines, look at them save. I sold puts on this yesterday. I sold $5 puts that expired today, but I didn't give it to subscribers just because I made the comment that the puts were so friggin' jacked that there was pending news, or the market's pricing in huge risk. Kind of reminded me of when some banks went under. They were that jacked. Look at iRobot, bottom right. Now this is getting creamed. So that's totally people knowing that there's bad. This is smart money, inside trading. If I were the SEC, I'd be going asking every big block of sellers in here, why they were selling. Now it comes out, I think the UK or whatever doesn't want to approve Amazon's purchase of this company, but a monster percentage gap down, down from 40. So as a contrarian, 30-minute high, looking to sell Pittsburgh. And even the $15 puts, I looked pre-market, were like 2.25. And that's when the stock was up here at 25. So premiums jacked like that are by definition telling you there's pending news, whether if something's pending or not. The markets are smarter than all of us in terms of spike volatility like them. All right, Wendy's getting a new CEO. This will be a bottoming pattern. It'd be a $19 short put, but not enough juice for me. It was like midpoint 40 cents. MATX. I see one print up here. Come back. PPG gapping down. This could be a 30-minute low short or call spread. INDB. I don't see anything of interest. Aren't we anticipating? Stephen, I don't confuse my brain with extraneous information. I have no idea. I just trade the charts. So that is a big fat I don't care for me. 58, this is a pro gap on W whiskey. They're I think it said laying off 13% of their workforce. SMCI, I saw this thing gapping last night to like right here, 331, right to the top of this WRB buy setup. And so I would have been all over this today to short a put spread, but now it's up too much, now it's way the heck up here. But bullish gap. Right, there's save we talked about. BRP. This is a SAM trade, bull rectangle, daily, weekly. All right. I went through all of those. Sequinome is just a Climo. I've been watching this all week for the turn. I have an alarm at 49. Texan gap's too big, but sloppy buy setup weekly. Target 175, but gapping up to 171 is messing it up. I mentioned IBM. TCM. I just saw this going by the ticker. It's a housing stock. I don't know how long they've been in business, but I don't ever remember him. But something's up with him today. But the gap's too big. All right, we have D-Dog put spread we put on yesterday. That's a gap up. Workday put spread looking good. Oh, we have Adobe call spread that we're on borrowed time, meaning we're short the 600s call spreads that expire today. So it's the melting ice cube. It's like, come on, man, hurry up, 4 o'clock, or so we can make our money. And so as long as it doesn't break out, then we're good. If it does, then we're gonna have to stop out. Now let's go up. This BRP, Jaqua. This is Alex mentioned yesterday, Jaqua. AMT, I have an alarm down here as a short, particularly if it triggers, then that's relative weakness, right? So we'll definitely take this short if it triggers. All right. I got a couple of alarms going off. Let me set one here, 203.30. All right, Tango Whiskey, do not chase it. Whiskey coming in. All right, Tango Whiskey, and let's wait for a pullback. Workday. Workday, let's do 5-minute high or pullback. That's fine. All right, let me go to these alarms. All right, save. I have $5 put spread, but I'm gonna let it expire at full profit. I'll bet they're only a penny right now. Yep. No, they're 3 by 4 cents. Wow. Shocked. Look, there's that much premium. Netflix coming in hard. That actually was a put spread. 485. All right, so Netflix has not triggered yet as a put spread, so it won't. MU triggered, MA, SMH. I personally wouldn't be buying semis right here. They were too extended. This Travelers I'm watching as a call spread, man, that thing's not exhausted yet. over USO. Let me see where the juice is now.